Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Don't know why I asked that question when you can't reply. Maybe this is like Blue's Clues now, or Dora, where I ask questions and you can yell them out. How are you doing? And then everyone you hear, you're like, good. What am I saying? Anyway guys, I hope you guys are doing really good this week. This week we are talking about Halloween crabs. They are also known as moon crabs. We're talking about both of them because they're the same thing. I've had a Halloween crab since December, for those who do not know, and they are awesome, awesome crabs. They are not hermit crabs. They do not have a shell. They have just them and their exoskeleton, and that's all they got. They got no shell to hide in. These guys do look a lot like a crab that you would see in the ocean or something like that lives fully aquatic underwater. That's it. But these guys are not aquatic at all. In fact, they can't even swim.
Happy birthday, Raven! I can't swim.
They do go to the water to bathe themselves and of course to drink, but they do not swim. If you put them underwater, if you submerge them fully, they will drown. So please, ladies and gentlemen, do not put this crab in water, it will die. These crabs come from Mexico, Peru, and they actually live in the forest. They are forest-dwelling crabs. They like to climb and they live in a dirt substrate, not sand. So these guys are very different from crabs that you might see at the beach or things like that. These guys live in the forest. Now, they actually do travel out to the beach during breeding season. That's when they venture out into the ocean and they breed on the shore with their mate. And they do go to saltwater also to bathe. So they do go up until, you know, where their little feet can stand, and they clean themselves off, and then they go back into the forest where they live. These are very interesting crabs. A lot of you guys might have not even known they existed. If you are not familiar with my channel, if you're not someone who does a lot of animal stuff, you might have not known that these crabs exist, but they're really cool crabs. They get their name Halloween crab because I think a fly just flew in my face. Do I really have a fly in here? That is not my pet. Please get it out. No pet flies for me. Sorry. Not looking to have that. Is that a thing? Is having pet flies a thing? Halloween crabs. They get their name because they look like they are dressed for Halloween. They have all the Halloween colors, purple, black, and orange. And they're really, really cool. They kind of look like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, in my opinion. But I did not name mine Sally because I'm pretty sure that that's what a lot of people would have done. And I was trying to be really unique and creative. So instead, I named it Ursula from Little Mermaid, which probably isn't that unique at all. Now, Halloween crabs do socialize, but they also do fight. If you end up with two males, they could fight each other to the death. I would try my best to make sure you know what sex you are getting, because in my opinion, you can have two happily live together, but you need it to be a male and a female, or two females. I don't think two males in a close quarters will be great. It's just gonna cause a lot of territorial issues. They'll fight and they'll end up losing limbs until there's nothing left and they're just dead. So, mine is a female and I currently do not have a friend for her. I am on the lookout. Right now she is in a 20 long, and that is a good enclosure in my opinion. It's a good minimum size for one single solitary Halloween crab. Now, if you're gonna have two, which again, I highly recommend trying to get yourself a second one, I think a 30 to a 40 is better for a pair, and then if you do decide to get more than that, it just keeps expanding from there on. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take her out and show you her you guys. I'm going to show her you guys. Here you go, crab. Look at this camera. I'm going to show you her. I'm saying that right now. I don't know why that's so hard for me to think I'm saying that right. So I'm gonna take her out real quick and show her to you guys. And then we're gonna get deeper into the care requirements and of course the enclosure and how I set it up specifically. So they're not one to really love being held. I'd recommend if you want to take them out and show people or something, or like I'm doing right now to show you guys. I don't think there's anything wrong with them being out for, you know, 5 to 10 minutes at a time, but you definitely just don't want to, you know, take them out too much, especially if they are burrowing. I don't think it's good for you to try to dig and find them, because a lot of the times when they're burrowing, they're going to be going into a molt, and if you interrupt their molt, it could actually end up killing them or harming them severely. So if you don't see your crab already out roaming around, I definitely would not suggest digging around to pull them out and play with them. And then again, when I say play, I use that very loosely. I mean to, you know, show people, maybe have them crawl on your arm for a minute, and they definitely don't want to be held for extended periods of time. But like I said, 5 to 10 minutes, really not a huge deal, especially if you just have them on your hand or something, showing some people maybe, and then you put them away. So that's all I was gonna say about that. So anyway, here we have Ursula. She is my Halloween moon crab, moon crab, whatever you wanna call it. She's pinching me. It feels not too great, honestly. So if you are going to hold them, you have to do a lot of hand walking, because as you can tell, she's gonna keep moving. She doesn't really chill out. You also have to be very careful and make sure you have your hand always prepared to catch them. You don't want them to fall from high distances, and they will walk right off of you and onto the ground. They're not gonna recognize the depth, and they're going to fall. They do not have a terrific depth perception. If they do, I guess they just really don't care about falling to their death. Yeah, you always have to have your next hand ready, and you have to have something ready to catch them underneath. These guys are super cool. Front 2 claws are purple, as you can see. Front 2 claws are purple, her back is black, all of her legs are orange. You don't have to hide your face. So I'm not gonna leave her out too long in this video. I just did wanna show you guys her and how they tolerate being handled. I'm just not gonna keep her out for the whole video or anything, because she's gonna not like that. She's gonna get pretty stressed pretty quick. Can you say hi? No, that's my thumb. You're pinching my thumb. Can you let go? That's hurting me. Thank you. What are you doing? Stop it. What are you doing to my camera? Stop it. Can you let go of my finger? That's another thing you have to definitely be prepared for and to prep yourself for, is if they start pinching you, like mine is right now, you cannot just like flick your hand. Some people want to impulsively, like their instinct is to fling their hand away when they're feeling being pinched. But if you did that, your crab would go flying and then you would have an injured crab. So we don't do that. In this house, we respect our crabs, even when they're pinching us. In this house, we don't fling crabs. Isn't that right, Ursula? Let go of that. Let's put you away. I'm just trying to put you away. Let me pick you up. Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I'm trying to pick you up so you can go back in your enclosure. Stop. What are you doing? Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. I see what you're thinking of doing. Don't you do it. Don't you pinch. Don't you. Thank you. You made the good choice today. Okay, really quick before we get into the cage tour, I do have to tell you guys real quick that this video is sponsored by Audible. They sponsored me about a year ago, and now we're back again being sponsored again. Shout out to Audible for hitting me up with that sponsorship, you know? Don't know what that was. So I did team up with Audible for this video, so I do just want to let you guys know what Audible is all about in case you aren't familiar. Audible has an unmatched selection of audiobooks that you can listen to on so many different kinds of devices, such as the iPhone, Android, iPad, laptop, etc. There is speed control for the books being read to you. You can choose for them to go fast or slow. There's free exchanges, and even if you cancel your membership, whatever books you have purchased are yours to keep for life. I actually have the paperback versions of the Game of Thrones books, but I actually went ahead and downloaded it on Audible as well, and now I'm reading along with it, so it's pretty fun to do that. Of course, you don't have to actually have the paperback of any book. You can just go to audible.com/TaylorNicole and get it there. To get a free audiobook and a free 30-day trial, all you have to do is go to audible.com/TaylorNicole or text Taylor Nicole to 500-500. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's audible.com/Taylor Nicole or text Taylor Nicole to 500-500. It's like that commercial, it's like 444-4444, but it's 500-500. So thank you to Audible for partnering with me, and now back to the show. So the 20-gallon long supplies a lot of space for them to, you know, you can fill it up really thick with Eco Earth and they can have a lot of space to dig. I have about 8 inches of dirt right now in her enclosure, but it is important to note, this is why I think a 40-gallon is really good for 2 of them. These crabs can burrow up to 3 feet deep in their substrate and build all sorts of tunnels down there, 3 feet below the surface. So the bigger in the enclosure, the more dirt you can add for them to burrow. So these crabs do bathe in salt water, like I said, but they also drink from fresh water. So these crabs need to have access to both salt and fresh water all hours of the day. Please make sure that the water you use is always purified, and please make sure the salt you are using is actual salt water and not sea salt just put in some water. That doesn't count. That's not salt water. You have to actually use either marine salt from a fish store, you know, you get a big bag of marine salt water and make your own salt water mix, or you can actually buy, they sell it mostly, you'll find it labeled for hermit crabs, but it works for both. Now calcium is super important for these guys because of their exoskeleton. These guys molt their entire exoskeleton off and they have a new layer of skin underneath that's exposed. These guys need a lot of calcium to grow because calcium makes, you know, bones grow, right? So it's really good for their exoskeleton, and it helps them grow, and helps them have a successful molt, and it helps them molt as regularly as they need to. I think calcium should be provided in every single meal that you give your Halloween crab. Or you could do something like put a cuttle bone in there, which is a cuttlefish bone. If you go to a pet store, you'll normally find cuttle bone in the bird section, but you can definitely use them for your Halloween crab. It'll love it. It'll use it to get calcium. Otherwise, you could also use reptile calcium, and you can sprinkle it on top of their food, and they can get their calcium that way. These guys will eat pretty much anything you offer them, but they do need to have a varied diet in order to grow and live a full life. So these guys do need meat in their diet. I feed mine a lot of silver slides, krill, and even dried crickets and super worms. These guys also need fruits and veggies in their diet. You could do coconut, bananas, pineapple, strawberries, apples, and then you can sprinkle in some veggies. You can shred up some carrots, you can shred up some zucchini. Now these guys do like it very humid. They need a very humid environment. To create this humid environment, I actually mixed 2 different kinds of substrate together. I did a forest floor substrate, which is a lot of wood shavings, and then I did Eco Earth, which is a coconut fiber which does retain water very well. Now this combination makes a very good humid environment as long as you keep it warm and wet. For warmth, I think it is incredibly important to put an under the tank heater on one side of the tank, so when they burrow, they get that warmth coming from the bottom. On top of that, I also put a small 50-watt red heat lamp on the top. That 50-watt heater is going to keep the air pretty warm. And then I spray it down every single day with a mister. I do morning and night, and I spray it down with a warm, purified water. Now, like I said, these guys like to climb, so on top of your at least 6 inches of substrate, you need a lot of fake plants, vines, things that they can climb on, coconut husk, branches, all that fun stuff. So they need to be able to bury, and they need to be able to climb. And that's really gonna be what they need to keep them happy during the day or at night, whether they be burrowing or climbing. Now these guys aren't much for daytime, so they aren't gonna really be out during the daytime, nor do they care if there is a daytime light on. I do like them to know the difference between night and day so they can have some sort of cycle going. So of course I put them in a room that's well lit, but their enclosure themselves does not necessarily need a light during the day on. I do have a light on my Halloween crabs enclosure, but I don't really turn it on that often. I normally do it when I have guests over or people that I'm trying to show the enclosure to, like right now, and that's really the only time it's on. Now, of course, this is completely optional, not necessary at all, but I made her freshwater area actually a filtered tank almost. But this is because when Ursula goes to bury herself a lot, she kicks all of her Eco Earth into her freshwater dish. So I wake up in the morning and I go check on her, and all of her freshwater has been dried up from the dirt going into the freshwater. I chose to make it a tank that's very firm and goes all the way to the bottom of the enclosure, so it can't be tipped over and it can't be thrown, like dirt can't be thrown on top of it. It's higher up than the rest of the dirt. And then I made a way for her to climb to it, and she absolutely loves this. She climbs up there, she drinks her water, she sits in it sometimes. She really does like this enclosure. I did install a sponge filter to the water so I don't have to change it out as frequently, and I filled 90% of the tank up with some rocks so she does not drown, because like I said, these things can't swim. When I get a bigger enclosure, I would love to do this with the saltwater area as well. Make it a whole saltwater tank and then freshwater tank and then her stuff in the middle. I think that'd be super good for her, and I think she'll really like it. Now these guys can live anywhere from 8 to 10 years, so please make sure you actually want this before you go and buy it, and please do not just buy it for your kid. I know a lot of people buy hermit crabs for their kids. I don't agree with that either. Hermit crabs can live 4 times as long as these things can. Just don't buy these things. Don't buy animals for your kid unless you're ready to be taking care of it too. Don't just give it to your little kid and think that they're gonna be able to take care of it. That's your responsibility too, okay? But that's a whole nother video topic. I'm just ranting now. And that's pretty much the basics for the Halloween crab care. If I forgot anything, I'm gonna be really mad at myself because I don't really script these videos. I just wing it. I talk about what I have to say, and then sometimes when I'm editing, I like hit my head a few times because I forgot something so obvious. So that's this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. If you have not checked out my Nala merch yet, please go check it out. We start shipping out plushies on May 1st. If you don't buy one by then, the pre-order goes away and they're not going to come back for a while. So I would really recommend checking them out. Thank you so much for everyone who's bought them so far. This has been a really fun project for me, and I'm really so thankful for you guys who are supporting me through this. And even if you can't buy it, just thank you so much for watching my videos. I'm thankful for any support that you guys give. It all means so much to me.